For many of us, the notion of having lived before seems ridiculous because there's no obvious memory. The idea of a previous life just doesn't make any sense. Consider this though. Throughout any life, there will be constant clues and indications of having lived before. These may be some obvious reminders of a past life. This may jog your memory. Do you have preferences? Do you have an unusual habit or a phobia about snakes, spiders, drowning, or falling from heights? If yes, some trauma relating to this may well have happened in a previous life. Or is there someone in your circle that you feel unusually attached to? Any of this may be a subtle indication of having lived before. The law of karma will be intertwined through any existence as a way of gathering wisdom. Karma, the natural law of cause and effect, operates automatically to educate each and every one as to what is needed for living in relative harmony and prosperity. Each unique life will bring its own problems, thereby expanding and heightening a personal consciousness. Naturally, as we evolve, there is always more that can be envisaged, and we gain further experiences through trial and error. This knowledge will not be lost. In consequence, each generation will be better equipped to handle future issues. We see it in our children. Just look at how they handle technology, even as toddlers. Somehow they just know what to do. Consider that we come into this world already primed with intuition, or a knowing, incorporating a unique talent and preference. Each life cycle or consequent time and situation will provide an opportunity for further growth. Life evolves to a higher learning and a greater exposition of consciousness and levels of reality. As in school, though, the method is not to throw the whole curriculum in at once, because any growing intelligence needs time to analyze and adapt to a new situation and a new theory. Consider that mistakes are essential. Questions do need to be asked, so never beat yourself up for your not knowing. Precious life skills will be developed and spread over quite a few lives, because we also need lots of fun and playtime. Human development has taken millions of years. In fact, we are still evolving. We are now more logical, practical, analytical, spiritual, technological, and philosophical. Consider that right now we are truly the best we have ever been. We know that any population or group is continually adjusting to new thoughts and a new cultural and technical development. Of course, this infectious intelligence varies all over the world. Do consider, though, that lately the World Wide Web has shaken the world on its foundations. With regular access, much may be learned and unlearned. With this in mind, human rebellion and reforms will be high. Reincarnation also explains the existence of men and women whose sexuality is different from what is biologically usual because of a previous life and a difficult adjustment. This is quite the factor right now, and further adjustments to our sexuality may need to be faced in the future. You may have your own opinion on that. As it is, though, through a past life, many karmic factors will come into play, so there will be difficult situations where the inborn tendency and preference will be sorely tested. The big question is, if I have lived before, why don't I remember? Most of us will be oblivious to a past life with good reason. On rebirth, the detailed echoes of a past life are no longer active. We acquire a brand new physical brain and have a new emotional and mental body without specific memories from the past. New paradigms are set. The new personality is based on past experiences and a current influence. Specific memories can surface and will most often be questioned by a developing consciousness of a child. There is many a story about this on the internet. A child's memory may be more easily triggered and often brings in quite an emotional impact. There was a little lad who showed considerable talent in drawing and modelling. One day his mother took him to the museum. He looked at the statues very earnestly for a while and then said, "Oh, mother, these are the things I used to make." She laughed at him. "I do not mean when you were my mother," he said. "It was when I had another mother." This was but a sudden flash of memory, and any such statement about a previous life by children should be taken seriously, because most likely this is true. This is another story from India. A child was prattling on about how he lived in a village with a little stream at the end of the garden. He said one day when his mother sent him to wash in the stream, the child said he woke up elsewhere. His uncle thought he knew the area. So one day he drove with the child through this village, not telling him anything. But the little boy jumped up excitedly and cried out, "Oh, this is the village where I lived, and this is where I tumbled into the water, and this is where my mother lived." He told his uncle where to go, and running in, cried to the woman there as his mother. Surprised and naturally taken aback, she soon spoke of her little son that had drowned in the stream running by the garden. Remember, it is not essential for you to know who you were and what you did in a previous lifetime. You may feel desperate or curious, but are you sure you would still want to know if there were things of a disturbing, upsetting, violent, or traumatic nature amongst them? The long and the short of it is that you are a unique combination of intelligence and knowing, with a refreshed accumulation each time of all that you have ever been. Anything may happen in life, and to live it we must. This is the beauty, this is the curse. Consider the eye as a transitioning, ever-changing phenomenon, to be blessed with an incredible versatility as we move through each phase of existence. A personal attitude and response can make a great difference to any situation and miraculously turn it into something wonderful. For instance, consider the miracle workers and the paraplegics that have faced dire dilemmas. They turned their life around to benefit humanity. Through past lives and karma, generation after generation have contributed to human knowledge. Cycle after cycle manifested further growth in intelligence, adaptability, and sensitivity. Past lives are an inspiration for the new. A past life will have brought its lessons, but that is all history now. No doubt we are all dealing with some karmic consequences. Do remember, though, that often we will return with the same soul group. That could be an uncle, an aunt, parents, or friends. This as a kind of support network. You will know of this soul connection intuitively. A greater understanding about past lives and karma will produce an expansion of awareness and a higher consciousness. Everything is connected. There will be a cause and effect consequence on a personal as well as on a global scale. An advanced soul will have moved through many experiences, happy, sad, and traumatic. But memories will fade and wisdom remains. So, how do you know that you've lived before? Because you kind of know what needs to be done now.